This is the weekly VUC. You can find us on the web, vuc.me, and here we are on YouTube with our recording. This is terrific. We have a very interesting product and a very interesting person with us, Ziva Nissan. Welcome, Ziva.
Thank you, and welcome to you too.
Okay, we've been testing particularly the product ConferenceCAM, which has a designation BCC-950, I think, from memory.
Yes.
But you wanted to maybe say a word. Introduce us a little bit to Logitech Business. One thinks often of Logitech as my first mouse was probably Logitech. By the way, I had the camera that had 16 levels of gray that you held like this, and it took like 6 digital photos. That was in like 1929 or something.
Yeah, that goes a little bit back, yes.
That does go a little bit back. Take us forward into the 21st century. What's Logitech doing with business these days?
Well, very good question. So, again, my name is Ziva Nissan. I'm the Senior Video Product Manager for Logitech for Business. And here at Logitech, we've started a new group. Actually, it's not that new anymore. It's about 1.5 years old. And Logitech for Business is specifically dedicated to products that fit the needs of business, whether they be enterprise or small medium business, education, and government. So we have a very dedicated group here of product marketing people, global marketing, regional sales and marketing, and we're very focused on bringing solutions that benefit users in business. And we not only have the exciting product that I'm going to introduce to you today, but a whole line of products, be them control devices, headsets, other audio products, as well as video products, and a whole line of products that will interest users in different businesses and different vertical markets. So we're very excited about the products that we develop and that we provide for the different needs of business. And we're also very focused on unified communications and web conferencing so that you can maximize your video calling and your whole experience in those environments.
Okay, let me just say for the people watching this, particularly recorded, there will be soon 4 of us on the ConferenceCAM units. I myself am obliged to use a different audio path, so I'm not talking into it. In fact, I just muted it and forgot that I wasn't using the audio on it. There's a very convenient remote, as Ziva will show us in a second, that allows me to, and it's got those nice musical notes on it. You see that? That allows me to mute from a distance, and then I realized that I didn't mute as I bumped into the microphone. But anyway, Michael Graves is on it. Michael, what are you using for audio? You are using the ConferenceCAM audio, correct?
I am, although I am prepared to switch between audio devices, between this and another Logitech device and my normal headset.
Okay, you do that in a little bit. And Ziva, of course, is using the product. And also we have Maxim, who's going to be coming in from Zurich, who will be using one, I hope. So that'd be nice to have the 4 different people with 4 different bandwidth situations and so on. Okay, please continue, Ziva.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually share a presentation and walk you through a little bit about our business as well as this new exciting product. So can everybody see, can you see my screen okay?
Yes, that's fine.
All right. Okay, so welcome to the new office. Again, our group at Logitech for Business is very dedicated to not only to providing products, but really understanding the way that users work in different types of business. And I'm here today to tell you about a very new and exciting product that I think is going to be very helpful to many different types of users in many different types of business. And I'm very excited to present this to you today. So at Logitech for Business, again, we're very, very interested in the way that different users are engaging in video conferencing. We talk to many different companies, and we also have our own experiences here at Logitech. And one thing that we found was there were basically 2 camps that were currently in the video conferencing arena. One is the desktop webcam, which normally users attach to either their laptop or on top of their LCD screen, which is great for one-to-one calling, or if you're calling multiple people at multiple different desktops. However, when you want to invite another person in, or even 2 or 3 people in, it's oftentimes difficult to huddle around a laptop and get everybody in and have it be working very well in that type of a small group. The second type is the big conference room system, which costs thousands of dollars. Oftentimes, some companies can't afford them, or they can only afford to deploy 1 or 2 of them. And for companies that have many conference rooms, that oftentimes becomes a problem. Also, some companies may have a few of these larger conference rooms, but they have trouble booking them because they're taken or they're in use. And we also saw more and more that small groups wanted to have a conference on the fly. Hey, you know what, we should get together this morning and talk to Zurich or talk to France. Let's get a group of us together and have that conference now. And it's difficult, again, finding a room or finding the equipment, or just being able to have that conference in an ad hoc situation. So we said, you know what, let's solve our own problem here at Logitech, but also solve this issue for many companies around the world. So we wanted to provide something in which you could just, take that device and plug it anywhere that you could put a PC or a Mac, and make it plug and play so that you can plug it in, start your application, and get going right away. So again, we see the growth of video conferencing. We see more and more application deployments, more and more laptops or seats in both unified communications and web conferencing becoming video and audio enabled. So what we did is we developed a device that not only would solve this issue, but provide the best video quality and audio quality at a very affordable price. And so we developed the Logitech BCC-950 ConferenceCAM, and I'd like to tell you a bit about this product. So we wanted to do something, again, that was all in one. You plug it in, you get both video and audio right away, anywhere that you can put a PC or a Mac. With the best video and speakerphone quality that you can get on the market. We also wanted to make sure that it was not only optimized for applications like Microsoft Lync and Skype, but it had broad compatibility across any video conferencing application, which it does. You can plug it into anything, into Cisco applications, into Adobe Connect, into GoToMeeting, you name it, anything that supports USB video class, which almost all video applications do today. You can plug it in and you can start your video conference right away with 4 or 5 people and have the best quality that you can enjoy. So let me tell you a little bit about the key features of this product. And again, you see several of us on the call are actually using a ConferenceCAM. Oh, my colleague here has told me that the slide is not moving forward.
Still on the opening slide.
Okay, because I'm moving forward and well, that's okay.
Oh, sorry about that. I was listening, but I had to have to watch the technical stuff.
Okay, let me try.
There we go.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, now we're up to. Well, I don't know what page it is, but.
Okay, I was in slideshow mode. Let me maximize this a little bit more. Sorry, folks, so you can see it.
There we go.
So I'm out of slideshow mode. I'll show it like this. Thank you, Michael. Okay, so again, the BCC-950 ConferenceCAM is an all-in-one design for small group conferencing. The use cases vary. Again, it's something that we developed for small group conference. We found that a lot of individuals are also using it in their offices for one-on-one calling. I use one at my desk every day. I know, again, a lot of the folks on this call are also using one. And we've also found, by the way, as I go through the features, you can think about other use cases like telemedicine, telebanking, education, webinars. There's a lot of great uses for this product. So let me talk a little bit about the features of it. We support up to 1080p with 30 frames per second. And also the camera has the capability of providing pan, tilt, and zoom. And we'll show that a little bit, or you can, I don't know if you can see me since I'm showing the application, But later on, I can show you a little bit about the pan, tilt, and zoom, and or some of my colleagues here can also demonstrate it as well.
I think actually Michael could easily do that while you're presenting, or Maxim. We have like 4 people now on the camera, 5 in fact, because Jamie's joined us.
That would be great. So if one or both, or a few of you want to go ahead and pan and tilt the camera, I will tell you that the camera head can pan 180 degrees. So you can move around the room if you want to show a specific object, or if you want to show a whiteboard, you can easily position the camera. Or if you're in your office having a one-to-one call and your colleague walks in and you want to position the camera so that they can be seen, you can easily do that. It also supports a tilt of 55 degrees up and down. So again, positioning is never a problem. And it also has a zoom of up to 5 times. So again, you want to zero in on something, you're easily able to do that. And how do we allow that to happen? With a remote control, so that you can easily do it from a distance as well as close up. And all of the controls are also available on the console of the device itself. So it ships with an extender for eye level mounting, or you can have the camera, as you see in the picture there, directly in the cradle of the speakerphone. In addition, we also support on the camera UVC H.264 encoding. I don't know if everybody on the call knows what that is, but I'll explain it in any case. So H.264, when you have that encoding on the camera itself, reduces the bandwidth on the CPU. So for instance, if you're using a camera that does not support H.264, the encoding will happen on the computer itself, and the bandwidth that's taken up may be as much as 70 to 80%, which means if you're opening other applications or if you're doing other things, your HD throughput might be affected, and you're basically just consuming a lot on the computer. Where if H.264 encoding happens on the camera, the CPU usage is reduced to as much as 17%. So H.264 is really taking off in the market. You're going to see more and more applications adopting that, especially now because it's a standard. So USB-IF has adopted H.264 as a UVC standard, and therefore it's plug and play. All the application has to do is develop the standard within their application. You plug the device in, and you get that benefit of H.264 encoding. Again, I mentioned the onboard remote, and we have controls for the following. So you can pan, tilt, and zoom, as we talked about. You can answer and hang up a call in applications that support that function, as well as mute or adjust the volume. And these can be done either from the device, or it can be done from the remote control, which supports a range of 10 square feet around it. In addition, there are features, and I'm going to ask one of my colleagues on the call to demonstrate this, autofocus. So if one of my colleagues can hold up a business card or some other document up to the camera, you can actually see the autofocus in action. So what will happen is, as you hold up the business card or the writing, you'll see it come into focus, and as it's removed, it will focus back on the person that's speaking. This is great, again, because, again, video conferencing is largely used in collaboration, and you want to be able to have that autofocus when you're either close up or when you move far away, or when you want to show an object or a document. Also, Carl Zeiss lens. So we have a unique agreement with Carl Zeiss, and that's very important because the optical quality is going to be very important to your video conferencing. And I can tell you that at Logitech, for all of our webcam devices, we use the best optical footprint that we can develop. So between sensor and lens, you're going to get the greatest video quality that supports very good color saturation. Your reds will be red, your blues will be blues. A picture that has no noise, that has no problems with latency. Everything will be in sync, and of course you need that if you're going to have professional video calls, because you want that experience to be as equal to being in the same room. We also support a wide field of view, which is important for this product as well, because if you're going to have 2, 3, 4 people in a call, you want everybody to be seen. So this supports the 78-degree diagonal field of view. And then, of course, on top of that, you also have the ability to pan and tilt so that if you need to move around a room, you can do that. Now, let me talk a little bit about the speakerphone. So the speakerphone is a full duplex, omnidirectional speakerphone. Again, I'm sure people on the call have heard the term full duplex. It means I start talking and then you start talking at the same time. We won't stop because we're canceling each other out. The quality of the speakerphone is excellent. We have benchmarked it with other speakerphones on the market to provide the best acoustical quality that you can buy. And again, from people that have used this product all over the world and conducted multi-party conferences, the response has been just excellent to this quality. So we're very happy about that performance. Again, it's omnidirectional, so you can be 8 feet away from the speakerphone and have very, very good audio quality and acoustics. I right now am probably about 4 feet away from it, and you know, I can tell from the response I'm getting that you're hearing me clearly. Again, what I talked about before is we wanted to ensure broad compatibility across video and audio conferencing applications. So whatever application you're using, be it Skype, be it Microsoft Link or Microsoft Office Communicator, any of the Cisco applications, Polycom, I could go through, you know, an entire list here, WebEx, GoToMeeting. Your call quality is going to be wonderful. You plug it in and you're ready to go. So again, you know, again, we think we're onto something here. It's a great product for both small group conferencing or even individual conferencing. The use cases that we're hearing about in different verticals, in different markets for the professional user is, you know, we're hearing about this every day. And it's amazing how people are deploying this, what their interest level is, and we're very excited about this product. So the product has an SRP of $249 US. It's available through worldwide business resellers, and it launched about 4 months ago. It's available now. We encourage everybody to try one out. So again, this is just a view of the different functions that I've reviewed. Again, it's a full-featured camera. Everything that you would need is all together in this one device. It also has LEDs in addition that show you when the video is streaming. It shows you when you go into mute, and so you're getting that response as well to know what the state of the product is in. It will also tell you when you plugged it in that it's ready to use, because the camera will rotate back and forth and the LED will flash to show that you're ready to go. So here's where you can go to see more information. You can also see our videos. We have how-to videos, we have marketing videos, we have more information on the device itself. And we welcome people to visit our website and learn more about the product. And also we're open to hearing more from you as far as your feedback or comments. And we would love to hear from you and what you think.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to find out if there's any questions. There was a question regarding things like Bluetooth and wired headset. I'm going to guess that this device is made to be a speakerphone. There is no connection to any Bluetooth or any additional headset, is there? Or is there?
So not to Bluetooth. We do have on the device, I don't know if you can see me here, we have a jack here. If you wanted to plug in a 3.5 millimeter audio device or audio earphone, you can do that. And what will happen is you're in a call, somebody walks in the room, and you need some instant privacy, it will take over the speakerphone. So you can do that if you want to. If you wanted to use the pan, tilt, and zoom of the video and then use a separate headset, you can also do that. You would just set that, it would just plug it into the PC and you would set that in your application.
So I missed one little part of that. Is that just a headphone, or would that be a full headset? Is the microphone part of it? Is it a headset with a mic that you would be plugging in, or is it just headset? Just
headsets that support 3.5 millimeter. It will just take over the speakerphone.
The speaker, okay. And that would be great.
Yeah. So you can do that. As a matter of fact, I do that as well because I sit in an open space. So I plug in one of our UE devices, our Ultimate Ear devices, and I plug this in and I use it that way.
Okay. Zena, let me just point out also, because I've talked to several people on this, and we have several people here, and we're going to try to get them to speak. Jamie, get ready, or Max and Michael. What I wanted to say, though, was that your conference room ironically, it is a conference room, but it does have room sound. And my own office has a little bit of room sound, but if you're fairly close to the unit, you don't even have that. And the echo canceling is spectacular. Let's get some samples of people on there. Jamie's got a headset on. Maybe we should get Max to say hello and see how that's going to work.
Yeah, so I plugged it in. I'm even using it on a Linux machine. So kudos to that. Kudos to that. So it's great. I mean, I'm testing it in the office actually. I'm the product manager for UBS, but I speak here with my personal voice, not on behalf of UBS. We are looking at the device for collaborative video rooms in conjunction with Microsoft Link. It's been working very good. So from that respect, we like it. My only question I had is, why do you not have the standard lock slot so you could lock it up? Because I'm a little afraid that if we roll out a large number of those devices, they might get stolen. So some feedback for your product management group there. But I like it as well. I like the speakerphone as well. It's very good quality, as you can hear. Yep.
Oh, well, thank you for that suggestion, and it is a good suggestion. We have heard that feedback, and it's something as we look at future products that we will consider for other types of devices. So it is a good piece of feedback, and I appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay, Michael's got a question, but before we do that, Jamie, if you're ready to speak, you had a headset on. I'm not sure. I think you did. But why don't you give us a little audio? By the way, you're muted. You were so careful to be muted that you're muted now. Let's see if we can get a little audio from you.
All right, how's that?
There we go. Good.
Okay. So that should be coming through the BCC-950 as well.
See, that's you're an experienced user, so that's excellent audio.
So the 1080p30, my question was going to be, what's the best application to test that? I don't know what the limitations of a Google Plus Hangout are, but it's definitely not 1080p30.
Right.
So where do we really want to? How do I really get 1080p30 out of this camera? Has anybody found a great app for that?
So what I would recommend is that you use Skype. Skype will support the 1080p and also the H.264. So you'll get that benefit as well as the 1080p. You can also use the answer and hang up and all of the functions there, and also it's going to be available. As we said, we support both Windows and Mac on this device, so you can use Skype on Mac. And you should have a very good experience there.
And the other thing that I was curious about was some people had mentioned, and I think it was in some blog posts that were pre-product released, potential facial tracking, and I have yet to be able to find the software to do that. Is that a future capability, or is that here today?
So, we put a lot of thought into it, and we also, we examined or evaluated that with some of our trusted testers. Our issue with doing face tracking was that it's built for a small group conference. So you have 3 or 4 people who are all being seen at once. We didn't think that the face tracking would really suit this particular camera for that usage model. Plus, what would happen is we would have to offer software for that, and many of our customers tell us, look, we don't want to touch software. We don't want it as part of the product. We want everything to be plug and play. So we opted not to offer it for this particular device.
However, you do need software for the answer and hang up on Skype, right?
You do, unfortunately, because Skype does not support those functions today. We're hoping, we're working on some tools, I can tell you this, to get more applications to, to develop with these particular functions. So in order for Skype users to be able to use the answer and hang up, we offered an optional plugin. If you don't have the plugin, you can always answer and hang up the call in the application, but if you install this plugin, and it's a very light plugin, you hardly notice it, you can do both answer and hang up on the device as well as call reject. So you're on a call, another call comes in Skype, you can hit the hang up button and it will reject the call so you don't get disturbed. But you would have to install the plugin. It's available for both Windows and Mac off of our website.
Thank you.
And Michael does have some questions, and that'll give us a chance to hear him from the speaker again.
Well, I have 2 questions. I'm going to show you a couple of things, because as I said in the pre-roll, my desk looks like an homage to Logitech today. So on Wednesday, which was Halloween, I took this little beast, which is a C920, and I set it up on our front porch, and we streamed by way of a hangout all of the kids that come through our neighborhood. We get a tremendous amount of Halloween traffic. We give out more candy, well, enough candy to get dentists excited. This the little C920, I was not expecting very much, but it afforded itself quite nicely under what I think is very difficult lighting conditions. We have light, we have fog, we have spotlights, street lighting, all kinds of things going on. And this allowed family in Canada to participate in a way that they don't do Halloween in the way we do it down here in Texas. So I'd like to know, how does the BCC compare to the 920? And sort of Carl Zeiss, well, I see a reference to Carl Zeiss on this, but I'm not sure that it's the same.
Yes.
And while we're thinking about that, I've also got one of these, which is one of your ASP 420s, right? Okay. So when this versus that?
Very, very good questions, and I have answers for you. So the same electronics that are deployed in the C920 are also available on the BCC-950 ConferenceCAM. We adopted those because they are the best video electronics that are available on the market. So they have the same level and the same high quality in both devices. So what you saw in the C920, you would be getting on the BCC-950. As far as the speakerphone, as I mentioned earlier, we benchmarked all of the different acoustical tests that are available to us for PC speakerphones, and we wanted to make sure that we either measured up to or exceeded the performance on what was available on the market. And so we've run comparative tests to a lot of them, including the device that you have in your hand, and we can attest to the fact that all of the features of the speakerphone, be it the full duplex, the echo cancellation, the noise cancellation, and the overall acoustical quality, whether you're up close or further away, either matches or exceeds that performance of other devices on the market in that price band.
I can tell you one way in which the BCC is considerably better, but it's a design difference. That's the length of the USB cable.
Yeah. The
BSP, clearly designed for portability, as opposed to the cable that came with the BCC. It's quite a lot longer. Mm-hmm. And just so that people who haven't laid hands on, the BCC-950 comes with a power supply, which is nice, but it also comes with a USB alternative to the power supply. So if you want to use two USB ports, it can be entirely USB powered and not require an outlet. That's a nice thought.
Well, thank you. We wanted to be able to give something that was more portable if people wanted it, that you could, again, we're supporting this ad hoc, I just want to take my PC and quickly, plug in the camera and the speakerphone or the whole device, the ConferenceCAM. And therefore, by having that capability or that feature as well, it made it a little bit easier in certain circumstances.
Incidentally, I'd like to thank whoever was responsible for deciding that most power supplies these days should be 100 to 250 volts, because this thing came over from the States, and of course, all I need is and I've got no lack of them here, all I needed was to change the plug and not a transformer or route around for a new power supply. Bob, I think you had a comment, or if you don't, any questions?
Yes, I did. Ziva,
yes.
I'm using a Logitech very inexpensive webcam, and I guess the best thing about it here, Randy, is the audio. The picture is very good too, but I mean, the audio quality, I understand, is excellent. You don't have the echoey type sound that you would normally expect from this. So that was very surprising.
Yeah, I think the echo cancellation is stellar. If I was a writer and I was writing a column on it, I would qualify to that, because we've all used all these different computers, including the Mac, which has very good echo cancellation, but the acoustics are not quite as good as far as I'm concerned. That's important.
Yeah, it is very important. Yeah, and I have I have this on a speaker, and I
Oops.
turn the speaker up, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of feedback, so it works very well. Anyway, the question I had is besides, and I may have missed this because I had a call came in, but aside from a USB connector, is there any other connection on this camera?
Yeah, so it is only USB. It is designed to to enumerate into your PC and connect with your application. So it's really designed for that purpose.
Mm-hmm. Is there any thought about, and this is the reason I'm talking about this is because my company makes a multi-cam recorder, and it uses HDMI as the inputs.
Yeah.
And I was thinking if there was a way to be able to output or maybe have a USB to HDMI connector where you could actually input this into a multicam recorder, you could be recording a conference, all four cameras at the same time, if you're in the same room, of course, and be able to then edit that and play that back later. So
it's an interesting, hey Bob, that's an interesting point. But for future, maybe it's future video needs to use a USB input with the programming expertise that you have. You could get that happen.
Yeah, I haven't looked up. I mean, there are a number of adapters for converting various video formats and connections. I don't know if there's a USB to HDMI, but it might be a possibility there.
I think that's very interesting to look at, and maybe we can talk more about that offline.
Sure, should be glad to. But the picture quality is spectacular. It's amazing, especially we're running all these cameras. I mean, bandwidth is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Very impressed.
Yeah, you look very good.
What camera are you using, Bob? You said it was one of the lower end Logitechs?
This is, I don't know what the model number was. I found it on my desk one day. It worked. And it's a blue. Unfortunately, I would need a mirror, I guess, to show you. Let's see if you can tell.
That's pretty funny.
Can you tell the model?
Oh, yeah, it's hard. It's kind of hard to see. That's been around a while.
Yeah, I know. But it works.
Let's see if Derek has any questions or input, by the way. Derek, I already forgot which camera you're using. Why don't you give us a scoop on that?
Yeah, sure. I'm using the C920 right now, which I absolutely love. The hardware encoding over Skype is simply spectacular, provided you have the bandwidth for it.
Which I don't, as we proved the other day.
Yeah. If I found it works maybe one time in 10, and when it does, I mean, the picture you're presented with is simply amazing. I have never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I can. I'm sorry, Randy. So I mean, I can see behind you very, very clearly. So like the wood that's behind you and the different things you have on the wall, I can see the colors very clearly. I can make out the images. It's also, by the way, because of the right light on board, it's adjusting to the different lighting conditions that are in each of your offices. So the quality is very clear also because of that in different lighting.
I was just going to add, Ziva, that you actually have a demo video that you do, so people could look it up probably like I did by just using your name, which is unusual enough to make it easy. And on the YouTube, on the Logitech, I think it's on the business channel, it would be probably. At any rate, if they look at that demo, what's interesting, of course, I don't know, you may not want to tell me, but there's a full, when in the demo you're doing full screen with someone, obviously you're maybe on the same network or whatever. But if that's real full screen, it looks pretty amazing. I don't know if that was what was that? That would have been a Skype call, right?
Yes, it was. No. We did it on Microsoft Link. I had to remember.
Okay.
So we did it on Microsoft Link. We did it. I mean, the product was already ready to go, and we did it. We did a full call like we're doing now. So yeah, it is very good quality.
And people should take a look at that because we're not able to do, no one here, I mean, I don't even know if Google Hangouts will do 1080, whether you have it or not. This is a little bit different situation too. It's not one-to-one. It's not one room to one room, which is a little bit the scenario, the typical scenario that we would be talking about here, by the way. You might have the branch office. There's a few people in one room and there's a few people somewhere else in the world. We're not necessarily talking about 10. Here we have a kind of a fun situation where we got 4 or 5 of these cameras, but really it's a little bit artificial.
You make a really good point, Randy, is that this imitates exactly the use case that we were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and any one of you could invite 2 or 3 more people where you're at, but I can see every one of you clearly. I've been able to hear every one of you very clearly, and all of us are hearing each other. And I mean, this again, I recently did a call where you know, we had a couple of people here in California, and I was traveling and in Denmark, and another person was in Switzerland, and another person was on the east coast of the U.S., and we needed to have this meeting in order to collaborate on a presentation, and we were able to do it so much more easily and get it done more quickly rather than being on the phone, and also having the clarity of the call, not getting interrupted by bad audio. The audio quality was so good using this device. It was just, we were able to zip right through that collaboration.
Okay, I was just about typing in, asking if Jerry wanted to say something. He had an interesting comment about some, no, he says no. Had a funny comment he made in IRC about that he was going to design a, how did you describe it? I don't have it in front of me. Let's see if he wants to unmute and tell us this. It's pretty funny. No? Can't do it with the audio?
What, you want me to do the mobile rolling cart for the bottom of the camera?
Yeah. That was, so it's going to be this cart that you can turn the camera all the way around on a distance. The only problem is the cable would get all tangled, right? It was a Kickstarter project. It was funnier when I read it. I'm sorry.
I see. No problem.
Who else has questions or comments? Anybody in IRC also? We're watching that.
I got a couple more questions. If they're sort of everything is done USB standard, there's no drivers or anything like that. What would it be like if somebody plugged this into one of the you know, Skype-capable smart TVs that are out there? Is there any potential synergy for that kind of thing, as opposed to just a PC?
So it does have to tie into an operating system that we support. So it has to be Windows 7, Windows 8.
That's a great thing to make a note of, though, Ziva. What he just said is a very, very interesting point, which is that in those TVs, if you can put apps in those TVs, well, a Skype-capable TV would have Skype. So actually,
they're usually Linux-based.
But I mean, Michael, do you have one of those TVs? I mean, I know they're out there. You tried one, right? You tested one?
I played with them, but you know, because I think you guys, your retail side actually makes a variant of the C920 or something like that plugs directly into like a Samsung TV or Panasonic.
Yeah, so there is a camera that the retail side just launched. It's called the TV Cam, and it's HDMI. You can take it and you can plug it in right into an LCD, and it will bring up. It has its own user interface that we've worked on, so that you can bring it up. You have a remote control, and you can start a Skype call.
Yeah, that's an interesting use case, though, Michael. That's an interesting idea.
I think some. If you look over my shoulder here, there's a small HD TV.
Pan the camera over.
A lot of it. Pan the camera over. Okay, we can do that. There.
Beautiful.
There's a small Sony Bravia that I use for utility purposes because I'm actually in the broadcasting business. But such things, you know, relatively small HD TVs are oftentimes used by folks in home offices for this kind of video conferencing stuff.
Yeah.
There's another point I wanted to bring up, which was while we were talking to people on Google+, and I'm afraid this is not small business, Ziva, but it is something that somebody might have at the office, like Maxim, and then bring it home. If Maxim, if you were having a party at your place, which I understand happens almost every night, you could bring this home, and you've got it set up in a corner because of the way the audio works, and it's so unobtrusive. You could have it set up in a corner. I mean, I've done this with Skype and with the laptop, okay, where you've got a group of people and you go, well, gotta be great if Fred could be in on this. Fred and his wife could be in on this thing. And we've actually done that where, we had it in the kitchen and we were cooking and stuff. However, it was nowhere near the comfort level that this device is. So that's another use case would be not really a professional conference, but I mean, and the price point is there, so I don't see why that would be a problem. So you have like a party, and then you've got your party connected to another party across the world, or to at least family or friends or whatever.
Yeah.
No reason why you can't. There's no law against it. Anyone else have any questions or comments? And then maybe, Michael, maybe you'll switch over to your, while the next question is happening, switch over to your headset or whatever, so we can kind of get an A and B.
You can try that.
I'll ask one more, Randy.
Sure.
How long will the PTZ last? So I know we do have some stuff in the IP surveillance space, and some PTZs are made out of metal and made to last a very long period of time, and other PTZs are made out of plastic and don't last near as long. I'm curious to know what the life expectancy of the PTZ and the BCC-950 is.
Ooh.
That's a tough question.
I can't. Yeah, it's a tough question. I can't give you an exact timeline. I will tell you that this architecture that we have, we've supported for a long time, and they have been built to last for quite a while. So there are some other devices that we've had before that support pan, tilt, and zoom. We've taken advantage of that same architecture and bettered it, and those devices are still running. So it's hard for me to quantify a time, a time length. However, they are built to last quite a while, and I don't see any reason why they would fail even after years and years of use.
Yeah, Derek, why don't you go ahead and voice that, since it's very complimentary?
Sure. I've been using the same style PTZ that's in this camera for about 4 years now. I've got 2 of the devices that I use for other applications. They've all been working fine. I've got one, in fact, that's been outside in the Northeast here for 18 months, works in 0 degrees, works in 100 degrees, no problem at all.
That's amazing.
Thank you for that feedback.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good to hear, because I know the guys who make the Axis IP surveillance cameras always try and bump you up to buying the metal gears because they argue that the plastic gears don't last long enough. But obviously IP surveillance is a little bit of a different application than this as well, because I doubt you're going to get high usage. My guess is that might be one of the reasons you guys left facial tracking out, but I might be wrong, because if you had facial tracking included, that PTZ would get used a lot more, versus right now I keep moving my head to look at the camera as opposed to using the camera or having the camera look at me.
Right.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's a good point, and also that it would be quite confusing.
By the way,
Logitech has those drivers that do that, right? I mean, I can't demo it here because I'm using Linux, but if you have the Logitech driver installed and you click on the follow your face and you move around, the other person gets seasick. So
Windows only though. Windows only though, right?
Is it Windows? Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I don't believe that's supported by the BCC-950. So although that software is out there and it works with their webcams, I don't think it works on the BCC-950, but I might be wrong.
That is correct. No, that is correct. We opted not to offer a driver, again, because so many customers tell us they won't deploy it. We do offer, again, this small application if Skype users, who normally Skype users download the application anyway, so downloading a plugin would not be that difficult if they want to use the answer and hang up.
Speaking of PTZ, is there an API available if somebody wanted to do far-end control of the PTZ position?
So PTZ is available through UVC, through USB video class. So it's something that you could implement just using UVC controls.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to write a little app, you could do that, then have, because we have an office in Burbank and another office in the UK, and typically the far end wants to determine what they're seeing.
And I will tell you, there are folks out there that have done that. So.
Excellent.
My one regret today would be that we are not, there's no way that we can show this. You'll have to go look at Ziva's video on YouTube. But when you first turn the camera on, it does a little, like that really is great. It just
a little R2D2 move.
Yeah, it kind of shows you that it's on. Too bad they couldn't build a little chirp in there, but it's obviously not necessary. But it's really a funny thing. Go look at that video.
Show it, right?
What's that? Yeah, Michael could probably do it if he's got.
I could show it here. I'll keep talking so that the video will be on me. So I just unplugged the USB. I'll plug it in again. See that?
Ah, there you go. It's so cute.
We anthropomorphize.
It works.
Incidentally, I switched to a decked headset, and using the speakerphone most of the time today, as speakerphones go, it's really very good. I still like headsets for a lot of applications, and you make a lot of headsets, so what the heck?
We do, and our audio group and headsets are a very, very targeted area for us. We understand the needs of headsets in business, and you'll see some very exciting things coming from us in the future.
This said, Michael, and my other camera isn't warmed up, obviously, so that's the Bluetooth cam. Your audio is closer to the mic, of course, on the headset, but it's actually less, I don't know how to say this, it's less, I'm trying to think of the right word, I can't, it's like analog. No, it's not that it's bad or anything, but
there's less fidelity.
It's less human, well, I don't know, or maybe it's a tiny bit distorted or something, I'm not really sure.
Being that I'm on a decked cordless headset, there's of course quite a signal chain between me and the computer in question. Probably a lot more complicated than what the speakerphone is actually doing.
I didn't realize it was cordless. So yeah, that makes sense. It's going over radio, right? You said decked, yeah. Radio.
Since it's Michael, we can guess that it's a Sennheiser DW Pro 2.
These guys are too
good. I was not name dropping just because we have a guest from another name. So
I don't think so. So does Logitech really play in that space? I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm wearing a Jabra, which competes directly with your Sennheiser, and then we've got Plantronics in that space. That's not really a space that Logitech's in, is it? Or in yet?
Okay, we definitely are. So traditionally in the past we've been in the space as far as our consumer side, but with this group Logitech for Business, one of the areas of development and marketing that we are focused on are all types of audio devices, and a big part of that are headsets.
So that would include wireless headsets for our SIP phones, let's say?
So I can't really talk about future products, but I would say stay tuned.
Okay, so today you're not offending them. Yeah.
bear in mind this, which they call a BSP 420 in Logitech.
Looks just like my Jabra 410 down here.
Is a rebranded Jabra 410, so they are cooperating, and of course, yeah, exactly. And these guys make great stuff. So, there we go. Yeah. So clearly the tools are at hand to do great things.
Yes, they are.
Okay, well, if there's nothing earth-shaking further, it's just left to us to thank you very much, Ziva, for the presentation and for joining us.
My pleasure. This was a lot of fun.
It is, and I hope you'll come back whenever there's any revisions or new models or whatever. Just
love to.
Come on back and visit us.
We're always a fun crowd.
Yes.
That's it. And now it's getting to be cocktail time over here in Europe, so we'll leave you until next week. The broadcast portion of the YouTube will end now, but anyone who's in the room can please stick around. It'll be still on audio and so on. And Bob, we're going to hear from Bob in a moment about if you got your notes ready,
I
Bob?
found the
VPN router. Okay. First we end. So see you later, VUC.me or plusrealtime.com. For us, Logitech.com, of course, to look at Logitech's business and retail products. See you later.
Thank you very much.